so we're going to talk about how to make a graph of a binomial distribution. And in this example, it says 59% of households in the U.S. subscribe to cable TV. You randomly select 6 households and ask each if they subscribe to cable TV. Construct a probability distribution for the random variable x. So the first thing I need you to think about is what is NP and Q. So we'll pause for a second and you can answer that. All right, so in this case, N is 6 because there's 6 households. Probability of success is 59%, that's 0.59, and then Q is our 0.41, which is 1 minus the 0.59. All right, in order to graph this probability distribution, we need to think about if we select 6 households, how many would there be possibly in each group that would be subscribing. So you want to think of all the possible. So of course there all 6 could have and none of them can have, but you need to think about what all the other x values can be in between. So take a moment and fill in the left hand side of your table here and think of all the possible x values. So we'll pause to see if you have those correct. And it should be from 0 to 6. So we could have 0 households, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we could go through our probability distribution formula for each one of those, but that would be 7 calculations. So that's going to take a really long time to do. So I'm going to show you how to make that a little bit easier for yourself using the graphing calculator. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn it on. And let's go to our tables. So stat enter. And then you want to enter in your possible x values. 0, 1, 2, 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the formula that we have for probability distribution for binomial formula. And we're going to substitute instead of 0 and 1 and then 1 and 2 and so forth. We're going to use L1 to tell it to do each of those x values for us. So you need to make sure that you're up on the top of list 2. And we're going to do that formula. Remember, the first part of the formula is combination. So let me just quickly write down the formula that we're going to be using. We're going to be taking the combination of n, x, p to the x, and q to the n minus x. Okay, so as we do that, we need to remember that n we know is going to be 6. So we're going to be putting 6 in there. So that has to go first. So math. Actually, I'm going to put a parentheses around this combination formula because we're going to do this all at once. So we're going to do 6. We're going to go over to math and then probability and select our combination formula function, which is number 3. Now, instead of putting a specific number there, we're going to need x values. And the x values are going to vary from line to line. So we need to put L1 there. Close our parentheses. And then we're going to multiply, and we can just put parentheses next to it. It knows to multiply. And it's going to be 0.59. And again, we're going to raise it to a power of x. But remember, x varies from line to line. So we're going to tell it to raise it to list 1. And then we have to do q to the n minus x. So 0.41 raised. And I'm going to put this little set piece in parentheses here because it's going to be n minus x. So n is 6 minus list 1. And then put an x parentheses to close around that 0.41 there. And then press enter. And there you should have all of your values. And then you want to change those so that you can, I just carried them out 3 decimal places to put them in there. Okay, So the next thing that you're going to do, let me get rid of this little green box here, is we need to make a graph of this. Okay? So if you go down below, you'll notice that you need to turn on your plot. You need to make sure that you have a histogram selected, your X list is list 1, and your frequency list is list 2. So I'll go through it with you as well. So we want to make sure it's on. Second Y equals, go to your plots. I need to go down and select my histogram. I need to make sure my frequency is list 1, or excuse me, my X list is list 1, my frequency is list 2. All right, now I'm going to go out of here and set my window, and this is very important. We're counting by ones through 6, so -1 would be fine for my X min. My X max is 7, and make sure you're counting by ones. So you need to change that X scale to 1. My Y min, I'm having it 0 because I don't have any negative values, and I notice my highest is about 30%, so I'm going to go up to about 0.4 so that I can see. So go ahead and graph and see what you get. Don't hit zoom 9. Make sure you're selecting graph. And then this is what you have. And then you can go ahead and sketch it on there. And this is what I have.